In today's lesson, the learner will be able to determine a prime number over 500. We do this by using a simple formula and then making a factor tree. Okay, so when we do this, we use our formula is multiplying prime numbers together that we know are prime numbers. Most of the time they're smaller prime numbers. Then adding 1 so that we know the answer cannot be divided by the prime numbers, so we can find a number that is prime over 500. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to use 13, 17, 19, 23, and then I'm going to add 1. So as I write this down, I know that these numbers are prime numbers. I'm going to add 1 so we know that these are not multiples of this number. When I do this on my calculator, it is 96,578. I know that 96,578 can be divided by 2, but I also know that 2 is an even number. An even number is a number that can be divided by 2. We also know that 2 is a prime number because 2 can only be divided by 1 in itself. A prime number is a number that can only be divided by 1 in itself. A composite number, which is the opposite of a prime number, can be divided by 1 itself and other things in between. So therefore, a composite number has other factors other than 1 in itself. Okay, so we divide 96,578 by 2. As I start my factor tree, I put this sign right here, and I know it can be divided by 2, but I also know 2 is a prime number, so I circle it to make sure that I have all of my prime numbers. 96,578 divided by 2 is 48,289. I've already done this on my calculator. 48,289 cannot be divided by 2 because it ends in a 9, which is an odd number. An odd number cannot be divided by 2. It also cannot be divided by 3. It could be divided by 3. We just add the 4, the 8, 2, 8, 9, which are 48,289 together, which will give us 31. 31 is not a multiple of 3, therefore it cannot be divided by 3. The only way to define if it's divided by 4 is plug it in our calculator. As I plugged it in my calculator, it gave me a decimal. If it's a decimal, then it is not evenly divided by the number, so therefore it's not a factor of that number. I know that this number cannot be divided by 5 because the end number does not end in a 0 or a 5. So I keep going. I know it cannot be a multiple of 6 because 6 is a multiple of 3. So then I go to the 7. So I type in on my calculator 48,289 divided by 7. It also gives me a decimal number, so I know that's not right either. 8 is a multiple of 4, so we don't have to do that one. 9 is a multiple of 3, so we don't do that one either. The only one that you can do next is 11, which is a number before a multiple. So 48,289 divided by 11 is also a decimal. Therefore, you can stop because that's where our formula started with 13. So this is how you know that 48,289 is a prime number. Now we found a number over 500 that is a prime number. We did this with our formula and our factor tree. Therefore, that is how you find a number that is prime over 500.